Hello students, in previous lectures we have seen the nervous system. Nervous system, we all know this is the heart center to control, coordinate the activities of the body. Whatever we do, whatever functions organism do is controlled by the nervous system. Each and every species has its own nervous system, just like computers have a CPU, just like the nervous system we human beings are having. In the last lectures we have seen that nervous system, it is divided into two parts, that is central and the peripheral nervous system. Central nervous system we have seen central nervous system, brain and spinal cord. In peripheral nervous system we have seen afferent neurons and efferent neurons. Afferent neurons are those neurons which are carrying the impulses from organs to the brain. Neurons are nothing but they carries the impulses and they carries impulses to the brain and bringing back the impulses, conduction of the impulses. So we have seen in central nervous system, brain and spinal cord. In peripheral nervous system, afferent and efferent. Afferent, which is carrying the impulses from the organs to the central nervous system to the brain, and then the impulses which are coming back from brain to the organs through afferent nucleus, afferent neurons. Now the afferent neurons can be of two types, impulses can be going to two types of muscles, like skeletal muscles and the muscles which we can control the movement, and the muscles we can't control the movements. For example, skeletal muscles we can control the movements. The skeletal muscles are present in our limbs. We can lift our arms, fold our arm, fingers like this. So these are generally skeletal muscles, and we study this under somatic nervous system. Now another is involuntary muscles, the muscles which we can't control, like the heart. We can't control pumping, so they are coming under autonomic nervous system. Autonomic nervous system is studied under two parts, parasympathetic and the sympathetic. Both the systems acting opposite to each other. Okay, in last lecture we have seen this, and also we have seen the nervous system. In central nervous system and peripheral nervous system there are neurons. The neurons are present in both the system, and the nervous system, just like if we say heart is the cardiovascular system is made up of heart, the pumping organ and the blood vessels. They form the cardiovascular system. In the same way, the nervous system, if we talk, it is made up of two types of cells, neurons and neuroglial cells. In central nervous system, neurons are present in both the cells. They are similar, okay, but the neuroglial cells which are present in CNS and PNS are different. We are going to study those in detail. There are only two types of cells present in peripheral nervous system, that is Schwann cells and another is satellite cells. In CNS there is astrocyte cells, second ependymal cells, number 3 microglial cells, and the fourth oligodendrocyte cell. So these are the cells which are present. Neuroglial cell present in CNS, that is 4, and the neuroglial cells present in, that is 2. So we will study these in detail along with the function. Astrocytic cells, what they do, they form the blood-brain barriers. They supplies nutrients and support Ependymal cells, what they do, they form the outer layer on the ciliated movements. They form the outer layer and the ciliated movements of the tissues. Now, the choroid plexus forms the CSF, present in third ventricle, goes to fourth ventricular meninges or covering. Ependymal cells are also present there. Microglial cells. Now we will little bit study about all the types of the cells. For example, the astrocyte cells. The astrocyte cells forms the supplies the nutrients and support the form the blood-brain barrier. Ependymal cells form the outer layer and ciliated movement. Microglial cells engulfs debris, microparticles to maintain clarification. Oligodendrocytes, they are myelinated sheet formation at neuron, fat and lipid mixed. Okay, now the Schwann cells, they act like oligodendrocytic cells. And the satellite cell, it acts like astrocytic cells. So we have seen the functions of these cells. Now moving forward, now let's talk about neuron. If we say neuron, what is this neuron? If I draw a structure of a neuron, this is the head part, this is the cell body, and this is the axonal part. So this upper part, this is called the cell body. Neuron is divided into two parts. Cell body and axon. So the upper part, the dendroid part, is called cell body, and the lower part is called axon, and this is cell body, and this is axon. Now if we see, the cell part is above and the axon is at lower. Okay, now we have seen in brain, whenever we study in brain and spinal cord, the term comes gray matter and white matter. What are those gray matter and white matter? So gray matter is nothing but these cell body. These are the cell body of the, this is axon, this is न्यूरॉन. न्यूरॉन का जो सेल बॉडी होता है वही है this cell body. It contains cytoplasm and DNA, so it appears in parts color like darkish, blackish, grayish. So it is called gray matter. It appears gray in color. So if you see axon has myelinated sheets. These are made up of fats, and fats are light in color, so they appear white, so they are called white matter. So brain has this gray matter and white matter. They're nothing but these are neurons, the cell body part and the axonal part. If we draw a rough structure of the brain, draw, suppose this is the brain, this is the cerebrum, this is cerebellum, midbrain, this is pons, and this is medulla oblongata. So if I take this, then at the outer part, this appears gray in color. Here the cell bodies are present. In the middle, the cortex part is appearing white in color, like this. So this is our cerebrum, cerebellum, brain, midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata, and this is continuation of the spinal cord. We have seen that the cell bodies of the neurons are present like this. These are the cell bodies. Are present like this, and this is the axons. They are axons. These are like fibers. So some fibers are coming down. These are, we will call these as descending, because these are descending. Some are fibers. We will see that nucleus is also present here. So some fibers in this part. So some fibers will be like that. They are going upwards. Some fibers will go upward in direction, and there are also some fibers which will go like this, from left to right to left, in all directions. So the fibers, these fibers are called tacts of fibers. So we can see ascending, which are going up from lower part. So these are fibers which coming from down to the brain are ascending tacts. We will call ascending tacts. Second, descending tacts of fibers, which are coming from the brain and going, they are coming from the cerebellum going down. These will be descending from the brain to downwards. Means from upper part to the lower part, they are going down. They are called descending tacts. And there are some fibers which will cross. This is the one part of the brain. Brain will be like this. I have drawn a single part. This is the sagittal section. One part is there, another part is hidden. So there will be fibers which will connect both the parts of cerebrum, cerebral hemisphere. That is two parts. Means cerebral hemisphere ऐसा होगा, है ना? तो fibers will be crossing like this. That crossing of fibers, those are called commissural tacts. Example of the commissural tact is corpus callosum. So we have seen the tacts are present and they are emerging, going up, going downwards in left to right projections. Okay, after this we have neuron. Now in this part there will be some cell bodies will also be present here. In cell bodies, these are the cell bodies. Some cell bodies will be present here also, like this. Cell bodies will also be, only two nucleus are formed in the cerebrum part. We have seen the cranial nuclei, the 1 and 2 cranial nuclei will be present in here, and rest of them will emerge from this part, the midbrain, pons and medulla oblongata. This is called brain stem. So one thing, the fibers which are coming from the downwards to upward direction means some fibers they will means fibers जो नीचे से ऊपर आ रहे हैं, here they will cross, there will be crossing of the fibers. The fibers which are coming from it, they will cross like this. Suppose this is our cerebral hemisphere, two cerebral hemisphere. So fibers are coming from the downwards. Here they will cross. From the right side, the fibers they will go to the left hemisphere, and the left fibers they will go to the right. So when there is a paralysis, say the brain's part, the right part is affected, then which part of the brain will be affected, paralyzed? The left part. Here in the midbrain there will be crossing of these fibers take place. Okay, now here brain stem, there are cell bodies are abundant, cell bodies are present. See, these are the cell bodies. So cell bodies will have the these are suppose cell bodies, then these cell bodies will have the axon, lots of axon, and there are lots of cell bodies are there, so there will be lots of axon like this are there. They will form a nerve. The nerve, these fibers will form a nerve. See the vagus nerve, it will form a vagus nerve, for example. Then what we call this, we will call this as a vagus nucleus. It can be any type, vagus nuclei. Vagus nucleus. This is not that type of nucleus which is present in the cell. This is different type of nucleus. First and second appears in the cerebrum. Rest of them means from 3rd to 12 will be present in the this brain stem. Together midbrain, pons and medulla are called brain stem. All the nuclei will be present here, and we will see this in detail in the coming lecture. So up to this you learn this, you understand this, how this brain, pons and medulla oblongata forms the brain stem. In the brain stem there is a crossing of the fiber which is going up to the brain.